very, very worrying, judging by the fact that polls close at 5 p.m. I also do know that once you are within the vicinity of the polling station, you'll be allowed to vote. But of course, if it starts, for example, at 9 p.m. or 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. or 12 a.m., how is it possible for people to finish voting by 5 p.m.? So, well, I'm sure that in those parts, I think in 2020, they extended it for a few hours for some of those particular places. I know a place where it even happened the next morning because the electoral material got there very, very late. So these are matters that are within the bosom of the electoral commissioner and her commissioners, and I have no doubt in my mind that they will be addressing the matter. You see, look, we are not in the church. We are not in the mosque. We are certainly not in the business of going to, sell our faith and matters to do with faith. We are conducting an election. God has made sure that in his own wisdom, we have all lived to see this day and in good health. All we need the EC chair and her commissioners to do is to focus on the work at hand, the processes leading up to a free, fair, and transparent election. That is all we expect. I think that sometimes we love God, God loves us. But when we have a task at hand, let's focus on the task. There's been various attempts, various plots,
Esther,
to rig the election. It is apparent to all of us. Sometimes we talk about rigging as if it is only when you go to the ballot box or when there's ballot stuffing and reprinting of fake ballot papers and all of that. Look, any attempt to intimidate, any attempt to create fear and panic, any attempt to subject people to a certain reason why or some anxieties to prevent you from going to cast your ballot, these are all attempts to suppress the voter. And it is these sorts of things that actually feed into the public conversations and serve as intimidatory tactics. And these are the things we are talking about. We saw various correspondences telling us that military people were not going to be deployed. Next thing we know, they are there and they are in uniform. I don't mind that they are there to ensure the peace, but the issue is that we should have been told. These are matters that should be out there, communicated effectively and transparently. And I still want to urge you in the media to be sure that anybody you see whose conduct is not in tandem with what you and I believe is their duty or responsibility, do well to expose them. I think this is a citizen's responsibility, and the media can help us in that direction. So for us, genuinely, I know that every attempt is being made to twist the arms of the good people of Ghana. But I'm convinced, as God is our witness, that this election today is certainly going to be won by John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
How's the camp of John Dramani Mahama taking the border closures? Is this something you had anticipated?
I am convinced that it's something that our security team had actually anticipated, first and foremost. But you see, I also know that in the days of John Mahama, when he was in office, for example, normally, yes, the security, whatever will take place and the borders will be closed at some point. But I remember that in the morning of the election, actually, they were open for a few hours. And you see, it is only when you sense, for example, that there's trouble, or you sense that there are a lot of people, unidentified persons coming in. Otherwise, borders are also manned by people. And so someone may probably be in a border town that is about 10 minutes. For example, when you go to Elugu, it's really like 10 minutes walking to a polling station, for example. I think that some discretion is also allowed and should actually be something that 30 years later, after 1992, we must change the narrative. I am looking forward to far-reaching electoral reforms. Maybe because this time we've been so closely associated with every process, for example, I see so many avenues that need immediate attention in the aftermath of this election.